What's up, YouTube fans? We finally got our Fans Hobby MB-06, their version of Powermaster. They call it Powermaster. This took a long time to get here. We was ordered in September, then they had some delays in November, December. Finally it's here January, so it did not make it into the 2017 list of figures, but here it is. Just comes in this outer box, which is nice that, you know, they have a shipping box for it. If they ever decide to sell it, I can ship it in that box. And here he is, Powermaster. It is nice to give you some coupons here to buy other stuff from Fans Hobby's website, so that's pretty cool. I might buy their Overlord, I don't know yet, we'll see how this thing is. But that's cool that they give you some coupons. And here he is. He comes in this little plastic sleeve. We'll just get this off here. Overall, it seems like the packaging is pretty well done. They've got, you know, good protection and good quality. A nice images on the box here of the vehicle mode and robot mode. MB-06 Powermaster on the side. Nothing on this side, just this Fans Hobby, nothing on this side. The bottom, a few more pictures of the base mode and the Powermaster, or the Jinrai, whatever you want to call them. And then here are all the product shots. Combined mode, robot mode, base mode, truck mode. A lot of stuff available here. And of course you've got the Power Pilot. Oh, I guess that they call it a Power Pilot, but I think it's a Powermaster in the actual series. So that's it for the box. We'll get it out of this and take a look. So I do like the fact that they use some nice packaging to protect the figure. It kind of reminds me of actually, it reminds me of the way the Masterpiece figures were sort of packaged when they first came out. They were kind of in trays like this. So here it is, a whole lot of stuff. Here you've got the exclusive Matrix. Looks like in a little box. That's the exclusive gift if you pre-ordered it for the first version. Here's the guns, and there's a lot of stuff in here. It's cool that it comes with so much stuff. Here for a second. So here are the two handguns, the Powermaster, alternate eyes. And then in here you've got the shoulder cannons. Take that out. No, one more shoulder cannon on the other side. Taped in there. And here's the figure. He's got the nice plastic protection on the front. We'll get that off. And here is the trailer, also with a plastic cover. So the reason I don't unwrap these beforehand is I want to give my first impressions on the figure. And I feel like if I unwrap it and take it out and then put it back, you're not getting my first impression, you're getting my second impression. So that's why I don't open it. I like to open it in front of camera so you guys can kind of see for the first time what I'm seeing for the first time. And you can also see the packaging, you know, the quality, level of quality on their packaging. And this one's pretty good. Now, this is kind of annoying. It doesn't have a stand. And we'll see if there's anything you can do about that. Oh, the head down here is also wrapped. But kind of weird that the head's just sort of sticking out there. But there you have the trailer. A little robot mode-y. Like this, it's fine. Actually, the wheels are not quite right. There we go. And here we have the truck. It is actually pretty cool looking. First impressions, it's a little weird. There's a couple spots where it's kind of weird, but overall it's a pretty cool truck mode. I like the way it looks. I like especially these windows here, the translucent blue with the circuitry behind it. That's a pretty cool touch. They have, of course, painted the lights yellow up here. We can attach the trailer here. It looks like there's a little basically a hitch that goes right on here. That's pretty good. I wonder if this locks in. It seems to be kind of not locked in. There we go. Oh, it's hitting the head. That's not good. As you turn the trailer, it hits the head on the bottom. That sucks. That doesn't seem right. Seems like something's wrong there. Wonder if maybe if it got turned around or something. Let's try it again, because that does not seem right at all. Okay. Yep, it definitely hits. So that's stupid. Why would they design it like that? Unless this is installed incorrectly. Well, it does roll great. I mean, that's fine, but why would you put the head right there? Hopefully there's something in the instructions about that. So let's take a look since we already got this open anyways. So here is the collector's card. I'm not a huge fan of the Powermaster collector cards. They're not great. They're okay. They're a little bit thicker, you know, plastic coated paper, but there's not an animation or a drawing here, so it's okay. And here is the instruction booklet. Now, a lot of the reviewers on YouTube have been showing these weird instructions where it's like a fold out. I think they just hadn't completed this yet. So this is a production version, obviously, and you do have fairly nice instructions with color pictures and going through each of the modes. Here's the weapons, here's the battery stuff. So it looks pretty complete. I like this. I like the book, and the modes look pretty cool, but this thing right away was kind of irritating, so I'll have to see, is there something better you can do with the trailer? My guess is no, that's just the way it is. But we'll take a look through this book. So we'll just take a quick break and we'll be back. Alright guys, I took a minute to look through the instructions. There is nothing there to help you. This is just the way it is. The head is supposed to mount right here on the bottom, and there's a little tab. But if you do that, it gets in the way. So you can kind of slide it all the way back as much as possible. By the way, this thing is really spindly. It feels like it's going to break. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the way this head is set up. I think they would have been better off just make it a parts forming. Separate it. In fact, that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably take the head off and just make it parts forming. Because this just gets in the way, and it kind of ruins it, to be honest. It just kind of ruins the whole feel, because it's sticking out of the bottom and it just looks bad. So here's the problem. You can see that. So what I'm going to do, and I know I haven't even started the review yet, but I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take off the head piece and see if it's any better, because I just can't get over the fact that they did this. You know, why would you have this down here? It's stupid, especially when it gets in the way of the truck, you know. So we'll take this thing off and then we'll see if it's any good. I'll be right back. I don't necessarily need to do this on camera, and we'll check if we can make this any better. Alright guys, I made a slight change, modification already. I know I haven't even friggin' reviewed the thing. But now I can turn this no problem. The head's not in the way. It turns just fine. But I've mounted the head back here, so it's just sitting back there loose. You can take it out. So it's gonna have to be parts forming if I do this, but it does sit just fine back there, and I can move the trailer around no problem. So I might actually do that. It's just unfortunate that that's a bad design. That doesn't bode well. I hope everything else is better on this thing. That wasn't a good design choice. But in terms of the actual trailer and the truck itself, it looks really good together. You know, it's a really good truck. I'm just gonna take the head off because it fell. It looks really good together. The truck itself, it's got a lot of nice chrome on it. Let's get MP10 in here for comparison. So here is Powermaster. Oops, disconnected the trailer. Actually, you know what? We'll put MP10 in back. In fact, we'll even get the trailer too. Here is MP10 with this trailer. And here is Powermaster. Now, the cabs themselves are pretty close in size. The trailer, obviously, for MP10 is a lot bigger. It's really tall. I think this is fine the way it looks. The trailer looks pretty good. Let's just get this down a little bit. There's difference kind of in the wheels too. The wheels, the rims look really cool. The way they've designed them on here. And they were good on MP10 too. It's just these are also good looking, and they have these, you know, kind of like this on the old trailer. They had the little wheel wells. This one has the wheel wells too, and up front, so they match, kind of the front and back match, and it's a cool little design element. Now you can see this does have the original. I don't have G1 Powermaster Prime, but you can see this does have like that design that they had on the original. The back is definitely nice and clean. They used to have kind of a big bulky, you know, foot back, and I think they changed it based on some suggestions from the fans. So that looks fine. I have no issue with the back now. It looks good. And then these pistons kind of stick out. They look, actually, it's okay. You know, it looks like it's part of a truck. From the bottom, it looks a little bit like a robot, you know, a robot lying down. But with the head there, man, that was just awful. So now that I'm able to put the head kind of down here and hide it away, that's a little better. I wish they had designed something that, you know, made this hide away a little bit better. But for now, you can do something like this. So once you do that, I think it's actually pretty good. There you go. Let's take a quick look at the cab details. We'll get this guy out of here. In terms of the cabs, very, very similar in terms of size. Both pretty close in width. Maybe MP10 a little bit wider. Height, just a tad bit taller. But as far as a scale, they're pretty close, pretty similar in scale. This also had the wheel well. This wheel was very pronounced, but it's very G1-y. You know, it's very like cartoonish, which is fine. You know, I like this look. I didn't think I'd like the look of the truck once I got it. It's okay. It's not bad. MP10 had the same kind of weird, you know, feet showing up in the back. That's just the way it is with these MP10 or Masterpiece Optimus Prime figures. You're gonna see the back's gonna look like feet. But this is not bad, and the fact they did these tampos kind of makes it look a little cool. You know, I like the tampos. I know some people don't really like tampos on their Transformers figures because that's not what the cartoon looked like. I like the tampos because it kind of makes it look a little bit like what do you call them? The Gundams. You know, I like Gundams, and I like the fact that they have these. It's more like a Japanese robot. I'm noticing this isn't really straight. Here we go. And just tabs in there. So that looks good, and you do have the little vents here. On this one, the vents are on the inside, but you have the vents there. That looks kind of cool. Nice chrome smokestacks. Overall, really well done. Looks cool. Now you do have the Powermaster here. Let's get that out of here and we'll take a look at that. Alright guys, we got all the accessories out of the packages now. Here's the engine version of the Powermaster, and it literally just tabs right in here. I think it goes this way, so you can put it on the front of the truck. You can stick him on the front of the truck, and it's kind of cool actually. Pretty cool looking guy. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. His I think you have to push this in first, and that's neat. That's a cool little feature. The fact that You stick that in, so that's cool. And then you take this guy and just kind of tabs in like that, and there you have his engine block, Powermaster or Ginray. That looks okay. I think it's going to be better looking in the combined mode, Powermaster mode. But you can also take this and put it here, which is nice that they gave that option, because in truck mode there's not really a storage spot. So this is where they put it. This is their kind of storage space. Yeah, the tab doesn't fit. It pops right out. So that's a quality issue. That's just, the molding is not done right. Oh man, okay, so I'm sorry to disappoint, guys. This isn't really impressing me. Let's get these things on here so we can see what this looks like. Hopefully this doesn't have any problems. Oh my god. There we go. So I like to have them almost like smokestacks, kind of towards the top. But we can also have them as cannons or guns, whatever. Here we go. There he is with his cannons. If you have him down like this, it will get in the way. It will hinder his turning, but you're probably going to pose him and then do it. So there you go. I think I prefer to have him up like that. You can also mount these guns onto the vehicle mode. You can just have it compressed like that, and then you can stick them in right up here on the top of the truck. There's two tabs right there, so you can get this one onto here. There you go. Fully armed up, except for this thing which keeps falling off. It does look good like that. It's very reminiscent of the G1 toy. I think that's what they're going for, and it does look good. I'm glad that they... Oh my god. Guys, this is not good. A lot of issues here. Oh, is it this? Maybe it's this that has the problem. It might be... It's a little wide. Maybe it needs to be shaved down. Any toy, though, you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to shave it down. It should just come made correctly out of the factory. This is an expensive toy. It should not be having to do anything to make it work. It should just work out of the box. Fans toys doesn't have these kinds of problems where things pop off, the mold is not right, Fucking A. That's really disappointing. So it's got to be this leg. So I'm guessing I need to shave off a little bit here in order to make this fit. Really, really disappointing. I don't know what else to say. There you go. So here he is, fully armored up in truck mode. It does look good. I don't have any issue with the look, but I'm a little soured by these quality issues. This thing just doesn't fit. Hopefully I can shave it and fix it. We'll see what color the plastic is underneath, because if I shave it and it's not gray, that's going to show up. It's a really good looking Haikyuu, but... So that's really it for the the truck mode. Again, now we're going to take this guy and transform the cab and see how he looks in robot mode. I'm really hoping things improve. By the way, you can use these guns kind of for a stand. They don't really go low enough. There's not anything better than that. I wonder if you can use this. Maybe. No. Yeah, there's not really a good alternative. I think the best alternative is to have these pointed downwards and used as stand. So we'll get this guy transformed and into robot mode. Honestly, I do like the cab mode, but hopefully there's no more other quality problems. So we get transformed, be right back. Alright guys, we are back from transforming. I have to just be honest. Unfortunately, things did not get better in terms of quality. I was really expecting, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a little bit just higher quality. I don't know how to explain it. It's just not what I expect. So this thing is really light, first of all. You know, you would expect some die casting here. There's no die cast. It's all plastic. It's really light. We'll take a weight so you guys can tell. It's not even a pound. It's 13 ounces. That's really light for a Masterpiece Optimus Prime that is supposed to, you know, rival MP-10. And just for reference, MP-10 is just about a pound. Okay, I expect third party to use more die cast than Takara, and this is 13 ounces. Okay, not even a pound. So it's lighter. It's got less less die cast than what Takara would use. That's not good. It really, especially the feet. I mean, these should have been die cast. They're plastic, and they're really cheap plastic. You know, it just doesn't feel great. It's solid. It poses fine, but it just feels cheap. The whole thing feels cheap. I can't believe it. I'm shocked. There's some other problems. So up in here, these wheels are supposed to kind of go up and sit flush, and they don't. They don't sit flush. They kind of pop out. So what you end up with is a huge gap in the chest, and it looks not great at all. These things are really loose. These are the hip skirts. They're just kind of flopping around. You know, they just feel cheap. I have no other way to say it. It feels cheap. This is a $220 toy, or $210, I think it was. That's ridiculous. For $210, I should have die cast and a really solid toy without gaps like that. You know, that looks not good. It doesn't look good. I don't know what happened here. I don't know why Fans Hobby seems like they reduced their quality from MB-06, because MB-06 was great. You know, had great quality. Here's another thing. This is supposed to tab in right up here, but for whatever reason it just doesn't stay. It just kind of pops out. So while it looks okay, it just kind of doesn't do the job. I hope people don't hate me for this review, because I know a lot of people are looking forward to this guy. Something I wanted to try when I saw this thing is, can you have the robot mode on this side? And you can. So let me show you. You're going to take the waist, flip that around. You're going to take the head, turn that around. Take the arms, turn those the other way. And here you've got Optimus Prime on the other side. Yeah, it looks a little weird. I don't know. You can have it this way, but obviously it's not quite right. His proportions are weird. It wasn't meant to be, you know, had this way, but he still has the ab crunch, so you can maybe put him back a little bit, and you can still pose him this way. Honestly, it's not that bad. It actually looks better from this side than it does from the other side. I know you're not supposed to have it this way, but you can. So this kind of looks like a belt. Now it does sort of cover up his waist, but it's okay actually. I don't think it's terrible. Maybe what you do is take these, tuck them back in. You don't need them. I know, I'm already modding this toy, so that's not a good sign. The fact that I'm sitting here changing it, modding it, making it look different, that's an indicator that this thing is not what I expected. So there you go. You can have it on the other side. Standing next to Optimus Prime, he looks okay. He's pretty tall actually. I think that's because I have this screwed up. There you go. So standing next to MP-10, he's pretty much the same height, if I have that correct. And I don't know, maybe that side looks better. shit. He's got the smokestacks here now in front. So it's totally a different look for him. Let's just put him back for a minute here and see how he looks the other way. Oh, this is so unfortunate. I'm really disappointed with this, honestly. It looks okay, but just holding it in hand and then holding MP10, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't rival this. It doesn't feel like it's a masterpiece. It feels cheap. It's got plenty of paint. It's got these tampos, and I do like the tampos. I like the tampos up here. I like those. There's nothing wrong with them. And the posability is pretty good too, but when you feel it, it feels like junk. It feels like Hasbro, you know? And this is just really bad. The fact that they have this hole in the chest that's exposed. You can make it a little better with that kind of covering it up, but so disappointing. There are a lot of ratchets. So let's stop complaining. Let's take a look at his joints here. So his head is on a ball joint. You can look up, look down. Oh yeah, so he's just like the MB-06 where you can pull him up, then you can get it really down. Or you can just have it flat down like that. But obviously it's better if you want to have a high up pose, a high down pose, you can pull it up. He does have this flat back to his head, but that is a function of the original G1 Transformer. You do get a butterfly joint, but not really because that's part of transformation. He does have really good articulation in the shoulders. It goes all the way up to there. You can rotate. It's a nice ratchet joint. Double jointed elbow. It doesn't break the sculpt. It looks good. There's a lot of good paint work in here. You got the black in there. You got the silver. So in terms of paint, yeah, it looks good. In terms of tampos, it looks good. In terms of feel and quality, nope. They didn't get it. Nice waist swivel. You do have a ab crunch both directions. Plenty of ab crunch. You have ratcheted hip joints that hold pretty good. Those are nice joints. You have ratcheted out to the side too, all the way out. So full rotation in both directions. You have a high thigh rotation. You have a nice bend at the knee. It's not ratcheted. It's a 90-degree bend. That's just friction that feels like it's going to break over time. It feels really cheap and crappy. You do have a very nice ankle tilt, plenty, all the way. Also back and forward, backwards and forwards, so you can get some walking poses with the guy. I think that's why people are going to like him, because you can get some great poses out of him, but quality is number one for me. I buy Masterpiece because they're Masterpiece. And this is supposed to be a Masterpiece, and to me, it does not feel Masterpiece. It looks okay, but it doesn't feel Masterpiece. And this especially in the middle, not great. Nobody's even really talked about this, honestly. A lot of the reviewers, I mean, I think Bobby talked about it a little bit, but the gappiness is really off-putting. It's something about it, especially the fact that this one won't even sit flush. So there you have it. Starting to get weary with the problems on this guy. I don't know. I'm for $200. This isn't good enough. That's what I'm gonna have to say. This guy, when I bought him, was $100, and that's a long time ago, but it was my first Masterpiece. $100 for such a awesome figure. Feels great. This guy, $200, feels like crap. Feels like it's gonna fall apart in your hands. And that's not what you should be saying when you have a Masterpiece. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Just disappointment. Alright, we'll get the base mode out here. We got to take a look at that anyway, but here he is with Optimus Prime. It's okay. It looks okay, but I don't know if this is Masterpiece. So we'll be right back with the base. Alright guys, we're back from transforming, and I'm sorry to report that this is no better in base mode. Really, some of the issues are it just doesn't feel solid, you know. For example, these things just kind of fall off. Sorry, you know, they don't really tab in well. It doesn't look great to begin with. These are sort of cockeyed, and I don't know, they just don't. The whole thing is just not great. I don't know how to explain it. These do rotate, but they're just not secure. So the better way to do this is maybe put these up here, and that looks a little bit better, to be honest. But ultimately, this is a useless mode. You know, it's not really worth its you know, the time investment to put it into this mode. It just doesn't look great. Yeah, so these don't really fit great either, but you can do this. There you go. And again, everything is kind of loose. It doesn't really stay. Not really secure. And that seems strange to me. You know, Fans Hobby has produced some really good stuff up until this guy. You know, I've been really impressed with what they've been making, and then this thing is kind of, I mean, these fall off too. So everything just is meh. I don't get it. Why is the quality on this so much lower than the other stuff they've made? And they were really impressing me. And I've seen other reviewers already review this thing, and they've been giving it pretty high praise. I mean, nobody really praised the this base mode, but oh god, just take these off. Forget it. Not even worth it. By the way, I still have the head off, separated, and I saw the plastic on because I don't want to scratch it up. But I don't know. There's just something that's not great. So there's not really a place to put these guns now. They're just sort of on the side, and you can put them back in his hand, but there's nowhere on here other than this spot right here, which isn't really secure. There's nowhere to put it. There's no spot that is very secure. They could have used these rails right here to do a slide, but they didn't, so it falls off. Yeah, so pretty much useless in base mode, but here it is. This is the back of it. I guess you could have him standing in there, maybe. Probably not. Probably doesn't even fit. Nope, it doesn't fit. So screw this mode. Pretty annoying. Things fall off. Doesn't even look great. Don't recommend this mode. I would just pretty much just use the robot mode. So hopefully the combined mode, that's the thing we've been waiting for. Hopefully that's a little better. Oh, by the way, here's Haikyuu Transformed. He does look good. He's got lots of articulation for a little bot. And he's got these ball jointed hips. He's got a bend at the thigh, a bend at the knee. Almost double jointed. Nothing at the ankle. But he's pretty posable. Is his head posable? His head does move too. So this little guy is pretty posable, but hardly makes up for anything really. So looking at him up close, he's nice. It's nicely detailed. So I have nothing to complain about with this thing, but I mean, he is a headmaster or a Powermaster, so that's not really the focus of the set. So alright, hopefully we get this in the combined mode and it's worth it. I'm not going to show the transformation on camera, but there's plenty of other reviews out there with the transformation. Let's cross our fingers here and hope this guy's really good in combined mode. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back and we're in fully combined mode here. And I think a lot of people are expecting me to say, you know, this is really good in combined mode. That's where its strengths are. But I can't say that. Honestly, I don't know what the other reviewers are are trying to say. Bobby Skullface was really the only one that kind of said, yeah, this isn't really, you know, it hasn't met up to the hype. And I've got this guy, you know, I've been waiting forever for this to come out. I waited for months to get it shipped. I finally got it, and now I'm so disappointed with what we got. Just looking at it, it's fine. It actually looks pretty cool, right? It's a cool looking Powermaster Optimus Prime. There's no doubt about that. They made a good looking bot. But transformation is horrible. Getting this chest piece in here and getting it configured right is a pain in the butt. It's not very clear. I know they've had multiple instructions and supplements and stuff like that, but it's not good. It's just not good. It doesn't fit well together. This headpiece top, and I'll try to show this. Luckily, I detached this, and you know, I parts formed it because I don't know how you're supposed to get this thing. This is the, you know, kind of the little extension from, it's attached back here. I have no idea how you're supposed to thread that through the feet. It's just, it's not, I don't know, it's not intuitive at all. And it doesn't really make sense. You know, their previous figure was such a good release. I don't understand this at all. He's also not painted anywhere. There's Tampo paint, like this, and this here, and kind of on here, but everything else is plastic, and even worse, some of it's swirly plastic. So you can see that on the foot. That's swirly plastic, and maybe it's not coming across camera very well, but all that's swirly plastic. Why not paint this freaking $230 or whatever, $210 figure? You know, people are paying a lot of money for this, and you're not going to paint it? That's ridiculous. You know, the only paint I can see on this is the blue. Whoops, let's back it up. The only paint I can see on this figure is the blue on the hands, all the details like these, the tampos, the blue there, or the yellow and white there. Some of this chrome, or the silver, that's obviously painted, and then black up here. But the figure itself is not painted. It doesn't feel premium. It doesn't feel masterpiece. It feels like a cheap, you know, like a kid's toy. That's what it feels like. Especially the legs. The legs feel really cheap. You know, it feels, you know, just as good or similar to the G1 toy. And there's, I don't know. So putting it together, for one, wasn't good. You know, it just didn't come together very naturally. It took a lot of effort to get it like this. And, you know, kudos to the other reviewers who got this transformed on camera and, you know, and correct. It's not easy to get it right. It just takes a lot of finagling. And that's a huge disappointment for me. You know, I thought this was going to be the masterpiece version of Powermaster Optimus Prime, but I don't even think I'm going to keep this. I think I'm going to sell it, which is crazy to me because this is a birthday present from my wife, and she ordered it in September and it got here now in January, and it's not even good. It wasn't worth the wait. I think I'm going to sell it. So I don't know. Now let's not get too negative. Let's at least review his articulation. But obviously you can tell I'm disappointed with the way this turned out. Now let's get his guns in so you guys can see how that looks. And he does have nice looking weapons. So I will admit that. They're nice looking weapons and they fit in the hands just fine. Of course the hands don't actually close around them. By the way, you could take these apart and display them with the smaller hands with the Optimus Prime mode, or you can do it like this if you want to, but I think people would want the big guns for the big guy. So you kind of fold that up, push that back in, and then this kind of mounts back on here, and then you slide that in. Now he looks good with those guns. I think there's nothing wrong with the look. Nobody's complaining about the look, right? It's not that he's not a good looking bot. It's the quality. That's really it. These are not bad. On camera they looked really kind of awkward and weird. They're better than the hip skirts on the little Optimus Prime figure. That one, they're just loose and they kind of get in the way. These are not bad. They kind of move out of the way, and you can get them on whatever angle you want. I personally just want them like that, flat. And he is posable, so let's go over articulation. You do have freaking stupid. Why would they do it? Why would you make it like this? You do have his head on the ball joint, so you can get pretty much a little bit of down, a little bit up, and full 360. It looks down enough for a tall bot like this. You do have the arms on a joint, like goes all the way up to there. It rotates all the way around on a ratchet. You do have a rotation at the bicep, a double jointed elbow, which if I take this gun out, you can get it, oops, all the way up. But obviously you can't hold his gun if you do that. You could probably hold a smaller gun, but the bigger gun, you gotta get that off if you want it to fold up that far. You do have a wrist swivel. The hands do have one pin. The pointer finger has a second pin, but you cannot get it straight. So I don't know what the purpose of the second pin is. Kind of useless, pointless. They didn't need to put that other pin in there. It doesn't do anything. And that's it for that. You do have, and see, this keeps popping off. Why? Why isn't this secure in here? That's the main gimmick. That should not pop off. God. I'm sorry guys, it's really frustrating with this figure. You do have a full waist articulation. You do have to move these things out of the way, but you can rotate it all the way around. You do get ratcheted hip joints. They are soft ratcheted outwards, and they do hold pretty well. You get a soft ratcheted double jointed knee. You can get it all the way up to there, so very nice articulation there. You do get a very nice articulation at the ankle, all the way to there, and it does go back and forth quite a bit, although it's hindered by that a little bit. It doesn't really go forward much. There you go. There's that. I don't think you're meant to angle that out, so. Oh, come on, man. This thing is heavy. There you go. So, it does have articulation. You know, it's got what you need in terms of posability. But the quality is just not there. It's just not there. You know, in the day of, you know, fans toys and, you know, Takara masterpiece figures, this thing, it does not stand up to those. It doesn't cut it. That's the bottom line for me. The legs are a little bit loose. But there he is, you know, and this keeps falling off, so I don't know what to do with this. It's kind of upsetting. So I've got to have it cockeyed because this one just pops right out. So he's sticking up on the right side. So there you have the MB-06. Now it did come with a free gift, and I'm going to show that to you guys. Unfortunately, at this point, this is meaningless because the figure just kind of sucks. But it does come with the matrix, and it's a pretty cool matrix. There's really nothing you can do with it because it doesn't fit anywhere. You could probably make him hold it, but it's really just a gift that goes with this. It's a pretty cool package though. It does have this on the front, a little matrix kind of thing. So that's neat. But in terms of value, I don't know. It's alright. So we'll just put that away because I'm not going to use it, and I'm probably going to sell this right away. So that's really it, guys. Oh, you know, I forgot about these. He does have 2 hip skirts here. They have a very little articulation. They just go up and down like that. Might as well just leave them up, because what's the point? So he is very posable. He's very articulated. He looks good, but as soon as you touch him, as soon as you feel him, as soon as you transform him, that's when you realize this is not a good quality Masterpiece Transformer. If anything, I would call this maybe a you know, a very large, what's the word? Not leader class, but you know, whatever is above leader class. You know, it's not a masterpiece. It's just a big transformer. And while it looks great in probably all the modes, it looks okay. It just doesn't have the quality, and that's where this guy falls down for me. A lot of people complain about the chunky beefiness of it. Honestly, in hand, in person, it doesn't look that bad. You know, when I'm looking at it straight on, especially, it looks really good in person. I know on camera it tends to look kind of fat and kind of chunky. That's not the problem with this guy. It's not the look. And he does have a backpack, but so did G1 Optimus, Powermaster Optimus Prime. Had a huge backpack. That's not the problem. The problem is the quality. And I don't know, you know, Fans Hobby took so long to release this. I don't know why this doesn't have the same level of quality as their MB-04, which I did purchase, and I'm keeping that. I love that figure. But this is not for me. I'm really sad by this. I thought Fans Hobby really figured it out. They had a formula. But it's not for me. Now, for those of you that don't plan to transform this a lot, if you're just going to keep it in the combined mode, this probably is going to work, right? This is another one of those things that the chest panels up here just tend to pop up. And I have transformed it according to the instructions and the supplements. There's nothing I can do to make that really transform correctly. But for those of you who are going to keep it in combined mode like this on the shelf, and you're not really planning to transform it into truck mode, it's probably the best Powermaster we've gotten, and maybe what we're going to get. But as far as a transformer, a Masterpiece Transformer, I cannot recommend this for those looking for a Masterpiece Transformer for the collection. Anyway, that's it, guys. Sorry for the negativity in the review. I am going to be reviewing Fans Toys Phoenix next. I bought that. I got it on a pretty good sale during Christmas, and it just got here. I know I'm late to the party. It was a 2017 figure, so we'll take a look at that. But unfortunately, this guy just doesn't cut it for me. I will be selling this. If you want to take a look at it, I'll put a link to my eBay page in the description below, and you can take a look at this figure. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and we'll see you next time.